Hey, church family, I got a joke for you. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Eh? No, okay, I'll keep working on it. Like many of you, I have found myself to have a lot of extra time on my hands. And one of the challenges can be, what do we do with it? How do I spend it? As for me, one of the things I'm working on is joke telling. I have some more work to do, clearly, but I'm trying to find the ways to get this extra time that used to be filled with things like work, used to be things like family time or schooling. For many of you, it's just all the things that you would normally do in life has been taken away. Why? Because of social distancing, because of this COVID-19. Life looks really different right now. So what do we do? How do we make the most of this? How can we continue to live life and be productive when we have so many restrictions against us? And I want to talk about that today. So we're going to be in Ephesians chapter 5. That's what I'm going to look at. But before we get there, I want to kind of help us understand that God has made us for more than just sitting around at home. He's made you to be productive. He's created you to do things. That was his point. He did not make us to be sentient beings who just sit and do nothing. We are designed for productivity. And it may feel like everything around you has stopped. I get that. Trust me, I understand that. Life is completely different than what it was just 2 months ago. And who knows what the future, what next month's going to look like, or the month after that. But now all of a sudden, our schedules are different. And for many of us, our schedules have freed up. And so if you're anything like my family, we are spending each day thinking, well, what are we going to do today? You can only clean the house so much. You can only do dishes so many times. So we've been doing things like going out, taking walks, trying to find ways to spend it. Because here's the thing. In Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 through 17, we see something very important. Starting in verse 15, it says, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise." Verse 16 being very important. "Making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is." You see, the passage from Ephesians instructs us to make the most out of every opportunity. Another translation says we are to redeem the time. Redeem the time. Think about that quote. Redeeming means to take back, to buy back, to get what was once ours and reclaim it. So we are to reclaim the time that we have. You see, that's a very important thing, because I think at the end of verse 16 it says, because the days are evil. We are reminded that Satan is out there, and he is going to do everything he can to distract us. See, Satan wants us to be lazy. He wants us to waste every opportunity. He wants us to just sit around and be depressed and just think of, man, well, what are we going to do now? I guess I'll just sit here and binge watch Hulu or binge watch Netflix and just waste the day away. You see, God did not create us to do that. Now, there is nothing wrong with taking some time to relax. There's nothing wrong with enjoying some alone time or enjoying just some restful time, watching Hulu, watching Netflix, playing video games, reading a book, whatever it is that you do. But we can't allow Satan, especially during this time, to use that to completely consume our lives to where we are missing the opportunities that God is presenting before us each and every day. You see, we have to be mindful and we have to be intentional about reclaiming that time. And there's some ways you can do that. For one, make a schedule. Schedule out your day to make sure that, hey, and it can be a fluid schedule. It doesn't have to be set exactly at this time. This is what you have to do. It doesn't have to be a schedule like you find in school. But set some goals, set some plans out each day to accomplish accomplishable plans, things that you can reach, goals that you can accomplish, and set that out. Use the time that you have to do something great. In other words, be productive even in this time of living in a new reality. And so here's some ideas that you can do to redeem this time to make the most of it. For one of the things that my family is doing, we're taking walks. Seriously, there is just something about being out in God's creation that helps you clear your mind. I know when I have been in very stressful situations, when I have been caught up just in moments of not knowing what to do, just getting out, getting in creation, just helps bring a new perspective, a fresh perspective. So get out, walk around your neighborhoods. If not, drive somewhere. I know a lot of the playground parks are closed, but some of these other parks aren't. Go and just take a walk and just enjoy being outside. Even go and walk around your backyard just to get out and to move around. Another thing you can do is work out. I know whether you're a CrossFit junkie, which I am not, or just like to go for an occasional run, this could be a great season to get those endorphins going. All right, I know my wife, she's been taking the opportunity of doing online workout classes. She's been doing video classes and just taking that moment. It's just using that moment to better your body, to put yourself in a better health, because that's a way to glorify God, is keeping your body in good health. Another thing is start a prayer journal. On the left side, write down your prayers and your prayer requests, and on the right side, write down when they were answered. You would be astonished at how often we don't realize our prayers are being answered, how often that goes unnoticed. But keep track of that. Even during this time of quarantine, God still answers prayers during social distancing. God still answers prayers when you're stuck at home. So keep track of what God is doing. Sometimes that's a great way to refocus our minds. But make your own bucket list. A bucket list is a list of things you want to accomplish in your lifetime. Sit down and think about, okay, what are some things that I want to do with my life? What are some things that I'd like to accomplish? Some short-term goals. Kind of plan out ways you can make your life better, that you can do these things that you, honestly, because you've been so busy with work and so busy with taking care of the kids or going to school, you really haven't had that time to do it. Well, do it now. And honestly, take this opportunity to grow in your faith. You have so much time now. There is no more excuses on why you can't read your Bible, why you can't start up a prayer life. It's so simple nowadays too. If you have a cell phone, you have internet access. Even if you don't have a physical Bible, there's apps. There's a YouVersion app. There's Logos you can download. And there are ways that you can have the Bible right there in a matter of seconds right before you. So take that opportunity, reclaim it, build that level of discipleship that maybe you've always wanted, but always had a reason of, well, I don't have time to read my Bible. I don't have time to do a Bible study. Well, now you do. So reclaim that time. Reclaim that opportunity to grow deeper in your faith. And also reclaim that time to share your faith. You can still share your faith during this time through social media. Write a letter to someone. Send a text message. Give someone a call. Just let them know that you care about them and that you love them. And seek out those opportunities to share that love that God has given you to them. You see, we have so many ways, and this list can go on and on. But there are so many ways that we can combat the laziness that Satan wants to throw upon us. That mindset that Satan can give us that says, well, there is nothing you can do. There's no point, who cares? Just sit around, be lazy, eat all the food you want, it doesn't matter. But this is what I'm telling you, and this is what God is saying. It does matter. Just because you're stuck at home doesn't mean that your faith stops, doesn't mean that the plan that God has for you stops. It is still real, and it is still there. And it is time for us as believers to say, do you know what, Satan? I am standing up now, and I am reclaiming the time that God has given me that you have taken from me. I am now going and taking it back, and I'm now going to use it to glorify God and use it in a way that I can now be productive in the life that God has given me. So that's just some encouragement. I wanted to give you some ways to kind of refocus our minds during this quarantine. I love you, and I will see you next time.